God morgon, god morgon! Buongiorno! Today is the first cooking experience you'll have with me. So, as I told you before, like briefly, I've given you small teasers of what will come. So I have started to cook through Massimo Bottura and Friends, Il pane oro. It's a book filled with 50 different recipes created by 50 different chefs. They're like all star chefs, but they all united in 2015 when the expo was presented in Milano. And when the expo started, they asked Massimo Bottura to be part of it, you know, to invite chefs for cooking shows and to participate, you know, have small shows here and there. But instead of just saying yes to participating, he actually wanted to create something more, to make a difference, you know, to keep a whole concept, because chefs care a lot about people, because cooking is a gesture of love. In fact, he wrote, I met Massimo Bottura last time I was in Milano. Amazing man, very down to earth, cares so much about the whole earth, you know, holistic picture of what he does. Cooking is not just a process that happens in the kitchen, you know, just to create a dish that represents you, that's supposed to be posh and just for a certain amount of people. Yes, there will always be a certain amount of people that has got more money to eat, you know, Michelin restaurants, and that's fine, that's another part of the experience. But we need to keep a holistic picture as a chef, both if your profession is a chef or if you cook at home, you know. So Massimo Bottura, the words that remained within me is la cucina è un gesto di amore. Yeah. So the kitchen is a gesture of love. When we cook from our hearts, and that's the difference. You know, this summer I've been eating in a lot of gorgeous restaurants. Everything from a simple agriturismo into a Michelin restaurant, right? And the food is delicious everywhere, but you feel when the food is cooked with love. It's a completely different experience. So, to make a long story short, Massimo Bottura, together with Don Giuliano, they created this refettorio ambrosiano. It was the 28th of May 2015. So it was this place in this old theater, if I'm not wrong. There's also a documentary you can see on Netflix. It's called The Theatre of Life. So in this old theater, what better place than an old theater to create the theatre of life, right? Very poetic, very Italian, beautiful. So this old theater was recreated into a brilliant restaurant where all the food that was supposed to be waste, you know, that they were supposed to throw away from the expo, the food that they couldn't sell, and they sent to this center. And Massimo Bottura, together with he called around all of his friends, you know, and all of the other chefs, and they created a brilliant restaurant for homeless people, for people who normally don't, you know, can't afford to go to a restaurant. They don't even have a home, right? So instead of creating a soup kitchen, he created this gorgeous place where they all could gather, and where they're all the same, you know, just the culture of sitting down around a table. At least in Italy, it's you know, where the family gathers. The culture of sitting down and sharing a meal. It's profound. It's a very deep sentiment, you know. and it's a place where we all share life. So he created this, and they still keep it going even after the expo, and it's a beautiful project. I love it. So something that started from just products not going to waste after the expo continued to create a new meeting place where we can all gather around a beautiful meal around the table. And it doesn't matter where we come from, it doesn't matter our background, what we do, who we are. Many times we connect who we are so closely to what we do, but that is not correct. I am not what I do, you know. You are who you are because of who you love, right? If you're prepared to share the love for life, share the love for food, just share your life with people, that's deeper. And I mean, it goes even further back. I mean, think of the Last Supper, you know. People have always gathered around the table, you know. There's a very strong culture around sharing life and sharing that. So all of these recipes, there are amazing recipes, really, but they're all based on what arrived the same day, right? So they never knew, the chefs would arrive and they didn't know what to cook. When they arrived, they saw the ingredients. Okay, what have we got today? What can we do? What can we create with this? So it's created with simple ingredients, and just with the goal to feed as many people as possible, you know, with what you got. And I love that concept. So my mission is to cook every single recipe of this book, and I'll try to invite as many people as possible and share the food and share the love and the amazing tastes. And it's a new way of cooking as well. Of course, I have to go to the store. I don't have any spare food that just arrives at my doorstep, but I will cook for as many as possible with as little as possible. And it's a great pleasure to take part of this, because when you cook these recipes, you realize that it's not just about presenting a beautiful plate. It's actually about putting your heart into what you do, and also just reading about how the recipes were created. For example, the title, Il pane oro, bread is gold, started from Massimo Bottura's love for bread in milk with sugar, you know, like the one-day-old bread. You can like dip it in the hot milk in the morning, typical Italian breakfast. You can have like the hot milk, you know, and biscuits or bread in it, and that was his memory, his childhood memory. And I think that's important for us as well, not to imitate another person's memories, but actually to present our memories, you know, because cooking is an art, right? I can't draw, not even if my life depended on it. My mom is amazing. I can barely, you know, okay, I can write my name, but I'm not a painter. We all have our different creative talents, right? And cooking is also creative. It's very creative, and it goes deeper. You don't just cook to feed yourself. You cook to create, and you cook to share your passion and share your love. So I challenge you to go further back into your memory, into your heart, and try to think of if you got some special memory connected to food, you know, a special dish or a special berry, I don't know, something that goes back, that has remained within your heart, to find inspiration for your cooking. And of course, if you're interested, I will share my recipes. Now, I don't have any more time to talk to you right now, I'm afraid, because I have to start cooking. I've already started. I made a few recipes, taken a lot of notes. So I already started with Daniel ham. I made a gazpacho alle fragole and the gratin di zucchini e manzo. It was amazing. And last night I did a bread pudding con salsa di ciliegi e gelato alla vaniglia. And I was like, bread pudding, that's not very fun. It was amazing. I loved it. Loved it. Yeah, like fluffy, and you know the joy when you create something and it actually turns out the way you wanted it to, and even better. It's like gold, you know, jackpot. So today I'm continuing. Yeah, it also started with the Massimo Bottura's recipe yesterday. Verdure estive con fagioli. I'll tell you all about it. But right now I have to cook pasta con pesto di menta e pane grattugiato. Remember, you don't always have to have expensive recipes. So in this recipe, instead of having pinoli, like pine nuts, which are very costly, you can just exchange. You know, you can create a pesto of what you got. You don't have to follow every recipe like to the brim. You know, you can actually be creative in your process. Now, I'm not creative. I'm normally always creative, but I'm trying to follow these recipes. So that's my challenge. I actually bought a scale. I bought a thermometer. Sanna, you will be so proud of me. I'm doing it the right way this time. So anyhow, this is my introduction to, well, I just started. So 50 recipes in total. I've just started with the first page. So I have 49 more to go. And I hope you will follow me in my journey through experiencing food and love. Ciao, arrivederci.